I made a joke, which I realized I deleted, which is like nobody's even bothering to try to kill Kamala because it's pointless. What do you achieve? Nothing.
No, it's totally
Just find
right.
another puppet. Nobody's trying to kill Joe Biden. Some people interpreted it as though I was calling for people to
Of course.
assassinate her, but I was like, no, even. I was like, doesn't it seem strange that no one's even bothered to try?
Just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
That is Elon Musk laughing at his kind of joking about a hypothetical assassination of the sitting president and vice president.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I'm sure it was funny when he told the employees he paid, and they laughed hysterically at his joke. It's ridiculous. What he's surrounded by are enablers who laugh at everything he says, and therefore either tweets it or he says it. And right there, he had, another person, sort of this washed-up TV star, who was laughing at his joke, which isn't funny. And everyone who looked at it was, same thing with the jump, awkward, weird, cringy. And so he just doesn't have people around him to say anymore. Anyone who is like that has been cut out of his life, and everyone claps when he says it.
And now suddenly, he's kind of at the center of the universe of the political conservative universe. He was at the Butler rally, I think, which is what Kara was talking about, with Trump on Saturday, jumping up and down, bizarrely.
Taking attention from Trump.
Taking attention from Trump. How did Elon get here? And do you think that he should be where he is in terms of the influence that he has on your party right now?
Oh, look, I think rich people often have influence in politics. It's not just in the Republican Party, it's in the Democratic Party as well. We seem to be more concerned when billionaires are for Republicans than we are when they're for Democrats, and they spend copious amounts of money to elect Democrats cycle after cycle after cycle
I
after
think part of it is also Elon's
sure
irrational, instability. There's a part of it that
he occupies an outside space in our culture because of X, formerly Twitter, because of SpaceX, because, he's into a lot of things that people are very interested in. Now, this comment, look, I've been as critical as anybody of what I think is the rhetoric around Trump that is extremely dangerous. And we can't joke about these things, okay? Because there are crazy people in this world who hear these things, and, I think they take it seriously. And so if we're gonna, look, my view is if we're gonna be upset, and I am unhappy about the rhetoric around Trump, I don't want any of this anywhere near Kamala Harris either, because I think all these people deserve our protection from this kind of rhetoric that makes politicians something less than what they are, which is human beings.
I appreciate your saying that, Scott. I think where the Democrats started to lose Elon was actually personal. We should have celebrated his contributions to electric vehicles, even though he was against unionization and stood up to unions. We should have said, look, Starlink, great product. That needs to be used. We should celebrate the fact that he's had the first commercial success of private people in space.
I'm wondering,
and I think a lot of it was that we didn't celebrate it, and he felt offended.
He does get a lot of attention.
I'm genuinely curious. Was there something, do you think, that Democrats did? What was the thing?
Yes.
What was the thing that they
I got
did to
a call
alienate
from him
Elon
about it
Musk?
when he wasn't invited to that EV summit. He should have been invited. I called the White House. I never call the White House.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why didn't you invite him? He's very angry. And in fact, I had an interview with Pete Buttigieg at the time, who also was a little bit glib about it. And I was like, he's critically important in this sector. I think the union thing was the big deal of why they didn't invite him, and they should have. He deserved that credit for
And then
what he's
people
been
were
doing.
tweeting out about his private flights and him taking a
Well,
private plane.
I'm sorry,
I don't
free
think
speech,
Democrats
like,
get blamed
yeah,
for that.
that's
No,
not
no,
good.
I'm just saying that, look, and I think he should stay off Twitter. I certainly think he shouldn't be making jokes about the vice president. But I think with the Democrats, remember, he was a supporter of Obama. Bill Clinton, Obama had this, and we are the party that is John F. Kennedy, that is about innovation, that is about entrepreneurship.
They didn't initially give him the tax credit.
We should be celebrating that part of it.
There's a weird, the union thing is such an interesting part of this. I want to play what Sean O'Brien, he's the head of the Teamsters, what he's been saying about why Democrats are losing some of these working class union voters.
I'll be honest with you, I'm a Democrat, but they have us over for the last 40 years. And for once, and not all of them, but for once, we're standing up as a union, probably the only one right now, saying, what the have you done for us?
Yeah.
And I'm getting attacked from the left, You know, and we've given, since I've been in office 2.5 years, we've given the Democratic machine $15.7 million. We've given Republicans about 340,000, truth be told. So it's like, you know, people say the Democratic Party is the party of the working people. They're bought and paid for by big tech. Those big tech companies.
I'd like to,
Everybody just turned to look at the congressman
Sean,
over here.
I'd like to introduce you to Elon Musk, who's all into robotics. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Look,
Elon and the rest of
I
them
mean,
want
I don't know,
replace
you know,
him.
I don't know the
AI,
full answer to the
robotics.
question. I just do know the Democrats did bail out their pensions.
We bailed out
That
their
also
pensions.
happened.
We stood up for the PRO Act, the right to organize. We stood up, and I know Sean, and Sean knows this, that we stood up against automation on the big trucks in California. But here's, I think, some of the frustration. Over the last 40 years, it's been a bipartisan consensus in many ways that hollowed out manufacturing in this country. We saw small towns decimated. Saw steel move to China, and people are upset. And some people blame everyone. Some people blame Republicans. Some people blame the Democrats. But I think Democrats should start by saying people made mistakes, and we want to earn back that trust.
But is it big tech's fault?
No, I mean, look,
and
I
at this
think-
point, can you really say that the Democrats are the party, you know, the party of big tech at this point?
I don't. I mean, that's not where I was going with my point, but sure, maybe. I mean, I think. Okay, I'll say that. Sure, we're the party of big tech. I think, though, the question I thought you were going to ask me is that, are we the party of the working class? And I want to just take a step back and say, like, well, what is working class these days? And I think when people say that, they mean white men in the middle of the country. And I think that then we should use a different descriptor, and because there are a lot of people who are working class that have from every different background. I also think for the Teamsters to say, to the congressman's point, we have stood behind labor. Where's Trump on the picket line? Where's Trump saving Lordstown in my hometown where it closed? It was on the verge of closing in Youngstown, Ohio. It was his policies that took that factory
He
out, and it was the Biden policies that brought it back. It was the Biden policy.
wait.
It was the Biden policy who brought chips and manufacturing. I think that the problem is that working class people feel like no party is really talking to them, and they're looking for people that they can identify with. And it's not about policy. It is so when you say here in the first segment, and I'm not attacking you on this, but when you say, I don't see her as strong, I don't. Okay, but I'm not. I want to have a real conversation with you right now.
Sure, it's my opinion.
What black women do you see as strong? And what black women do you have in your life right now?
It's not about race. I know plenty of strong black women. It's not
In your
about,
life?
don't bring up the race thing.
Well,
It's not race.
the reason why I say is that is because we are human beings, and the way we engage with things is by proximity. And if you've ever worked in, you know that it's all about. You're saying go on the factory floors because you want to connect to the human experience.
Of course.
And if you've never really connected to a strong black woman in your life, then maybe you don't actually understand what her strength is and where
I
it
was
comes
going to
from.
make it. First of all, Trump with Elon Musk joked about firing people and anti-union in his discussion with them. That's one. Two, Democrats or Republicans, guess what? Automation is coming, whether you like it or not. And Elon Musk is behind it,
100%.
and Reid Hoffman's behind it, along with AI. It's coming, Sean. I'm sorry to tell you, just the way mechanized farming was coming, just the way information workers are going to be replaced in certain ways. And so it's not a Democrat or Republican at all. It's all of the rich people, and they will in 2 seconds replace you with a
But it's
robot.
not just about tech. I mean, you sorry.
Go ahead.
When President Trump came into office, it's because you had this fraying of a post-World War II world order, where you had hollowed out middle class across the country, black, white, brown, didn't matter. Everyone was hollowed out. So Trump was coming into office talking to those people. And the first major piece of legislation, which was tax reform, had incentives to bring capital back and manufacturing back. And since that first piece of legislation, every single major piece of legislation since then, Democrat or Republican, has had, whether it's chips or what have you, have had incentives to bring manufacturing back. So both parties recognize that this is an issue that these are the people that
But
need
he's
to
not
speak to.
pro-labor.
Real quick,
Yeah,
Scott.
I just wanted
But he's
to.
not pro-labor.
What?
He doesn't support unions. He doesn't believe in
Well,
collective
he
bargaining.
supports working class America. But I wanted to.
But he doesn't.
But
working
would
class
agree he
Americans
doesn't
get
support
protected
unions,
through
right?
unions. We know that when working class people don't have the ability to negotiate, when UAW went on strike because the CEOs year after year of those big 3 car companies got raises, and those individuals that were on the factory line that we're saying these candidates need to go talk to, they weren't getting raises after they had the bailout happen. Donald Trump doesn't care that their union is protecting them. Joe Biden is the one who says we want them to have collective bargaining. When I was in Ohio and they wanted Wisconsin, Scott Walker wanted to get rid of collective bargaining. John Kasich, Ohio, wanted to get rid of collective bargaining. Donald Trump doesn't believe in collective bargaining, which is a core tenet of labor policy. So for the Teamsters, which then would mean the Teamsters would not exist. Janice, the Supreme
I think
Court,
just as
all
a
of these
factual
policies,
matter, that is very true, which is what makes this so bizarre. Scott,
I know we
really,
gotta go.
really quickly, we
just-
got to go.
If it's true what you say, that the Democrats have been far more supportive, why is it that Kamala Harris cannot secure the traditional union endorsements? She lost the firefighters, she lost the Teamsters, she lost the Fraternal Order of Police. Why is it that the big union organizations
Well, the
are
Fraternal
playing-
Order of Police didn't endorse Joe Biden either. The Teamsters, the National didn't endorse either, but she got a collective 20 separate across the country
you
representing
admit
diversity.
these are blows to her campaign.
But that's what I'm saying is that, but it's not about the policy.
Yeah,
it's
I think-
about the
this is
connection